2023 to August 11, 2024, taking into consideration the terms and conditions of service as provided in the contract. The committee noted with concern a number of challenges experienced at the initial phase of implementation. The committee highlighted the following issues to be addressed by the insurance. One, that county staff cannot access services in majority of the facilities provided by Trident Insurance Company in the tender document. Lack of services from major hospitals such as St. Luke's, Eldoret Hospital, Orial Hospital, and Top Hill Hospitals has affected staff medical services. Currently, staff receive very limited services in Life Care Hospital, Avenue Hospital, and Palm Care Hospital. This is in contravention to Section 15 of the contract, which states that the service provider commits to at all times during the subsistence of this contract ensure that all facilities in Annex 2 of the tender document provide medical services to county staff. Number two, that on Friday 9th August 2024, the patient who is a child name withheld to principal members who are both our staff visited Life Care Hospital for treatment which required an operation. The total cost was 200,000 shillings, but the insurance approved only 110,000 despite the inpatient limit for both parents being 1.5 million each. The patient was turned away from the hospital despite the county intervening on the matter. Failure to facilitate treatment goes against Section 14 of the contract, which states that all services, included chronic and the existing conditions, shall be fully covered as per Salaries and Remuneration Commission (SRC) limits, and therefore, there shall be no sub-limits on any condition. Number three, Chair, it was that there has been a concern over time taken for the insurance to approve requests from hospitals for staff treatment, which has led to the officers at the county to follow up with the insurance for approval. Despite these follow-ups, the insurance has not resolved the matter, as some requests take up to 5 hours to get feedback from insurance. Example, on 12 August 2024, Evans Kiprotich, a staff, reported to Life Care Hospital at 12 noon for treatment. He was asked to await approval from Trident and had to wait for the whole day. This led to our officers intervening by making a follow-up with an email at 20:31 hours for the patient to be attended to. Copy of email attached. This failure to respond on time goes against Section 23 of the contract, which states that the service provider shall strictly adhere to the target set in the tender document. These include timely response to approval requests from hospitals. And number 4 was that Section 26 of the tender provides that for inpatient services, the service provider shall consider a facility that is NHIF accredited or shift. Contrary, the only inpatient facility currently accepting Trident insurance cover is Life Care Hospital, which is not NHIF accredited. This is affecting staff treatment and is against the provision of the contract. Number 5 was that the service provider should not wait for a follow-up by the procurement entity in order to facilitate treatment whenever county staff visits the hospital. Minute number 3, recommendation. The committee recommended the following. 1, that all concerns raised above be addressed by the service provider immediately for the smooth running of the scheme. 2, that the insurance should consider having a designated care manager to handle county staff medical scheme. The third one is that the county should meet its obligations as per the contract, including making payment due to the service provider on time, which we have done on our part. Number 4, and the last one was AOB. There being no other business, the meeting was adjourned at 5 p.m. with a prayer from Sharon Molongo, Senior Human Resource Officer. Confirmed, chairperson signed, secretary signed, members that were present, all of them signed.
Thank you, Honorable Waziri. And members, it is clearing that the findings of the implementation committee from the respondents is binding the service provider. And on the agreement, on several agreements that articles or clauses, the consequences of such breach is well underlined. And supposedly, I understand that there are several letters written to the provider for failing to honor the minutes and requests that were made. Kindly read for us the 2 letters or several letters that you've made.
Chair, as we...
Copies for members, huh? There's the mic for...
I think it's proper from where we have reached, first of all, for the committee to acknowledge this minute is so crucial, and it was held in the month of August.
Yes.
The month of August, way before the petitioners came up with the
Yes.
petition.
Yes.
And the recommendation, the respondent have a duty later to tell us how far have the service provider addressed the recommendation, which some of them were supposed to be immediately, in bold, immediately. Therefore, it was good for me to say those so that it goes to Hansard, that the minutes are so crucial and the respondent are here to confirm to this ad hoc committee whether the recommendation was adhered to.
Thank you. Honorable Moya. Honorable Amos.
Thank you, Chair. I think I want to appreciate the presentation from the part of executive. I'm concerned about the agreement that was prepared and signed by both parties. That is the service provider, Triton Insurance Company, and the client, who is the county government of Wasingishu. At what point is this agreement prepared? Is it before awarding or after awarding? Because I'm concerned, it seems there are some things which it seems to have been anticipated. Is there any standard way of doing the agreement for such insurance provider? It's good that we have our legal person to advise on that.
Thank you. I'll give directions that the contract, our legal counsel, Now, the contract deed, is it a specific document or it binds to this contract or needs clauses? Come on, answered. Come on, answered, please.
Each contract is different. It's prepared after the tendering process is done and they have already identified who they are going with. Thereafter, the contract is prepared by the office of the county attorney for
So
the side of the executive.
this is a contract tailored to medical services.
Yes.
Thank you. I think, Honorable Member. The mic still, I'll come to Honorable Chepkonga and allow me to introduce the member that joined us last.
Yes, I'm Honorable Veronica Burgay, member to this committee.
Pleasure. Welcome.
Chair, I'm a bit concerned about the advice from our legal person. I thought before someone expresses interest, you must be able to gauge yourself, whether you can meet a minimum, whether you can perform to the expectation of the client. I'm a bit jittery. Why should doing the contract come after? I think it's good for the service provider or even for the one who is expressing interest to understand what is the wish and expectation of the client. Because if it is something that is negotiated, I think it's opening a window for compromising. So maybe kindly advise us properly at that point.
Thank you. Honorable Chair, in the previous sitting, on which we have a document with us, the policy of the company, one of the respondents here in today did say that the service provider promised heaven, and am I right? Yeah, on the policy. So I think the policy
is documented.
It is documented. We have the policy with us. That answers the question from Honorable Amos that as per the agreement, it is clearing that it is a clean and the expectations are so high, but on the actual implementation report on implementation is asking a lot from the service provider. So we have the policy with us, and I ask that how many pages is that policy? Because you are the custodian and the person would say that the policy did promise heaven, and immediately after,
But
the company's
also,
policy.
But also, before we go there, there is this called tender committee. Chair, I have an issue with the tender committee. If you look about the report from the tender committee, that is minute number 1 MCIC 8/2024, especially bullet number 2. The same document that we were being taken through.
That
Yes.
is not the tender, that is the implementation
Yes.
report. Implementation committee. There's a difference between tender committee.
No problem.
This
We
is the
have
implement-
point, the agenda number 1.
Yes. Come on.
Bullet number 2
Yes.
has more questions than answers.
And that is why you are required now. You listen and then you ask. Ask those. You'll ask
Because
those
they
questions.
chose to give us what they wanted to hear them, but they ought to have been more clear, leaving every stone turned. Because if you look bullet number 2 upon initial evaluation, it will tell you that they only wrote what they wanted to write.
Yeah, okay. They read the report from tender committee.
Yes.
That reads the report from tender committee. Welcome, Honorable Majority Leader. Honorable Chepkonga, please come on.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. And I wanted to proceed from where the leader of minority left. On this report, actually it's a minute from the committee on implementation. Honorable Chair, this is minutes of meeting. This is a report to the executive. Yes. It is not to Trident company. So that the question, Honorable Chair, is to the executive. This report was signed on 21st August. Today, we are in November. It was in to the best of my understanding, Honorable Chair,
Yes, yes.
that it was prudent for them to tell us what have they done to the findings of this report.
Thank you, Honorable Member. That is why I was asking that they table the two letters that follow this sitting. So we need the two letters read so that members can pick from there. Kindly, do you have the two letters, communications to Trident and their response? Shortly, I'll come to you, Honorable. And before, as you find out the letters, we'll let us in. There's a member, two members who have just joined us. The majority leader, can you introduce yourself?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Julia Sang, member of this committee and the leader of majority. Thank you.
Deputy Speaker, kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Chair. My name is Sarah Malel, a member to this committee and member representing Kimomo.
Pleasure, welcome. Honorable member, I saw your hand.
Thank you, Chair. I still have issues with this implementation
Report.
committee report.
Minutes.
Minutes, yeah, the minutes. We have the highlights, the highlighted issues. They are saying that the Trident Insurance Company, they have mentioned hospitals that were not able to provide service as per the list they had provided, the list that was provided by the Trident. But my question is, did they? I don't think they did enough research, because they ought to have maybe attached maybe a request or maybe a letter to that effect, indicating from the hospitals to ascertain this particular statement, because it is just a flat statement where we don't have any evidence. How did they come to the conclusion that these major hospitals like St. Luke Hospital, Real and Topil are not providing services in their report? Did they do that research, and how did they do the research?
That is a question to respondents. I think you are noting that. You'll answer the question. We need to go through the letters after this meeting. There are letters, and take members to the pages where that letter is. Our secretary, Salbei, knew where the letters were.
Thank you, Chair. Allow me to go through the letters. This one is dated 26th August 2024. Addressed the manager, Trident Insurance Company Limited. It reads as follows. Medical professionals performance. The above subject matter refers. The medical insurance cover starts its operation on 22nd July 2024. Since its inception, the county has had some challenges in administration and performance of the medical insurance cover. This prompted the Medical Insurance Monitoring Committee to have the meeting, which was held on 12th August 2024, and the following attached challenges were observed with recommendations made. Kindly address the mentioned challenges as soon as possible, so as the staff can continue enjoying the medical services as per the contract agreement. Signed, Chief Officer Brostarus, CCM, County Secretary, County Attorney, and Director Supply Chain Management.
Those are copies.
This is a second one, which was
So the first one was written on 26th of August. And the sitting was 12 August. Fine,
Yes.
fine, thank you. The second letter. Any response to that letter first? The first one?
No
After writing to Trident, did they respond to that letter?
No response, Chair.
No response. Proceed.
The second letter dated 18th October 2024, addressed to the same manager, Trident Insurance Company. Dear Sir, Madam, reminder of medical profession performance. Reference is made to the letter Ref UGC /PSM /2024 /348 dated 21st August 2024.
Proceed.
Subject matter. The issues raised in the above letter addressed to the management of Trident have not been resolved to date. Furthermore, our effort to reach over to your office through phone or email has not been successful. Kindly provide comprehensive feedback on why the county is still unable to efficiently use the cover in various hospitals, among other concerns raised in our letter. We will appreciate if the above feedback is provided in 14 days. Signed, Chief Officer Chelagatiro. Then the copy is copied to the CCM, County Secretary, County Attorney, and Director, Train Supply Management.
Thank you. In that respect, is there any response to that letter?
Not yet, Chair. They have not responded.
No response to that letter. Any other management letter after that?
This one, Director can go through.
Letter in respect to?
Chair, yes, there is one that after they requested for a meeting through the email that we provided in our last meeting, we accepted to meet them. That is, and they had requested for a member sensitization, though they did not make reference to our earlier letters. So there is a letter
it was
also.
not a response to the earlier letters.
Yes, they didn't make reference to our concerns, but now they requested for a meeting with to have a meeting with us and also sensitize staff. So the meeting is scheduled for 15th November, this Friday, and the chief officer. So this is a letter, and I will read to Manager Trident, dear Sir, stroke Madam, member sensitization and quarterly meeting. So you understand, Chair, as per the contract term, we are supposed to have quarterly meeting with the service provider. Yes. So they requested for that meeting. Remember, we have been pushing them to come to the table, and then we agree, so that we can agree on the issues that we had raised before. So when they requested for this quarterly meeting and member sensitization, we acknowledge and notify them that reference is made to your email dated 2nd October and another one on 30th October 2024, respectively, on the above subject matter. This is to notify you that we have scheduled both meetings on Friday, 15 November 2024. The department would like the following concerns be part of the agenda for the meeting. One is lack of access to services by staff in major hospitals in Eldoret, contrary to the agreement. Two, long pre-authorization time. Three, introduction of sub-limits. And then four, any other concern raised in our previous communication. Kindly make arrangement for the same and advise accordingly. Signed by the CEO, PSM. So we've seen, despite this letter, we dispatched last week, and therefore they have not again responded or acknowledged, because what we've done is forward on email. So we are hoping that they will be there for this meeting on Friday.
But have they acknowledged the receipt of that letter?
I made a follow-up email, a call,
yes,
to one of the officers among the team that we were given. Apparently, Chair, maybe to disclose this, some of the officers that we were given as the contact people for Trident are no longer with the company. So the ones now that we are given subsequently are the ones now that we are engaging
There's
them.
a clause that we call the force majeure. Are they natural?
No, I think that is it is common,
or
Chair,
they
that
fail to be employees
yes,
of the company.
Yes, because if what happens, I think what happens, what Trident should have done is communicate to us in terms of, yes, we have these officers. So, but when I talked to the officer last week, there's an officer I talked to with Trident, and they confirmed that they will be coming. But in written, we have not received any written.
Acknowledgement of the letters?
Yes, and acknowledgement we have
They
not
have
received.
they acknowledged the receipt of the letters?
They just told me that, yes, we are coming. She
Verbally.
confirmed. Yeah, verbally.
Through the chair to Waziri, if we have a service provider who has not been responding, you know, government we communicate through writing.
Yes.
They have not been responding. Neither they are showing any commitment.
Yes.
What has the department done
Yes.
to that letter?
And I'm adding on that in the contract deed, there's a clause stipulating if there is a failure between 15 days. I think you've read the contract, right? Failure to respond. You go to the stage of arbitration. Have you had directions on that, or you are still requesting verbally?
Maybe Chair.
Honorable Amos.
My mic is working. I want to request through you, Chair, that I want us to address these matters in a structured way so that we don't get derailed. The reason is this. What is very important here is not even the quarterly meetings. It's about the terms of contract. When you look at clause 41, that is why I asked the question. Before drafting this contract, was it something that was there before anyone expressing interest, or it was done after? And our legal has said it was done after because of the policy of the insurance provider. When you look at this, what the department is doing now, they are now exercising the provision of this contract, whereby they are holding their quarterly meetings. That one they have complied. I see this contract seems to be somehow deliberate because we still have a window for arbitration. So this one, I'm seeing this one as an opportunity to waste time until the end of 1 year.
The year is ending.
So the problem, honorable members, through the chair, is with this contract. And this is a point to note. In future, maybe you need to inform the service provider on the terms of the contract, because now these terms are meant to waste time. Imagine now you are exploiting or you are taking advantage of that section 41 where it talks about section 27 of this contract. It talks about having a quarterly meetings. The service provider shall arrange quarterly meetings for the review of every 5th of the quarter. You see, all this process is meant to waste time at the expense of the services.
And that's
Imagine now you are exploiting section 27. You have not yet gone to section 47, whereby in the worst scenario, you need to go for arbitration. You can imagine appointing an arbitration. Somebody will say, this arbitrator is not for me. It will have been the end of the year. So I think the major problem is
the contract.
With the contract, and you need to take note of that.
Honorable Respondent, as you come, you've noted that one. Let me, in your contract,
Point of order.
yeah, a minute,
Point of order.
Yes, what is out of order, Honorable Member?
I had the privilege of going out, dashing out, and I realized that my sugar level had gone up. But luckily, something has been prepared for us. Kindly, why don't we go and address our sugar levels?
I support.
And then we come and we continue from there. I propose, please.
I second.
Kindly, Honorable, you know the procedure, Honorable Member. You know the procedure. If you are moving it, and then you must ask somebody to second you.
Already,
I
propose that we go for the health break.
Yes.
And I call upon Honorable Amos to second.
I do second.
Honorable members, a motion on the effect of health break has been moved, and for at least 20 minutes because we are ending this session at 12:30 p.m. At 12:30 because this next session will start at 2 p.m. Exactly 2 p.m. So, honorable members, having heard of that request, this meeting stands adjourned for 20 minutes for health break, and we will be here at 12:10, and then we'll have immediately impact on honorable members, immediately impact of answering a very pertinent question on contract terms and expectations of the contract terms, expectation of the contract, and finally the prayers of the petitioners. Those are the three issues we'll tackle concurrently. Your replies, expectation of the contract, and finally the prayers of the petitioners, so that we are done with the matter in an hour's time, and expect our service provider, which is Trident, at 2 p.m. Thank you. This meeting stands adjourned until 12:10 p.m. We're asking Sergeant Adams to lead.